I want to share my testimony because I believe it may help someone else who's fighting a battle in their mind. Around May 31st, I began experiencing unwanted suicidal thoughts that seemed to come out of nowhere. To this day, I don't know exactly what caused them. I don't know if it was spiritual warfare, an adverse medication reaction, or past struggles resurfacing, or a combination of things. What I do know is what these thoughts were unwanted, frightening, and completely opposite of who I am. For the first time in my life, the battle lasted for weeks. Every day felt like a fight. I dreaded waking up because I didn't want to deal with the thoughts again. Fear tried to grip me, and I felt tormented by the thoughts that I never wanted. But I thank God because I am still here. One of the first things I did was tell people. I immediately notified the prayer warriors in my life. I called my aunt. I told my father, who is a pastor. I let trusted people know exactly what I was experiencing. And please don't isolate yourself when you're going through something like this. The enemy wants you alone, but healing often begins when you bring things into the light. There's a scripture that talks about that. Another thing I also did, I also removed myself from anything that could cause harm. Even though I knew these thoughts were unwanted, I wasn't going to take chances. I chose safety and I chose wisdom. I spent time walking outside. I worshiped constantly. One song that ministered to me was Never Be Defeated by Rich Talbert Jr. I played it over and over and over again. I kept declaring God is the greatest power. I shall never be defeated. I also spoke life over myself. I quoted scripture. I reminded myself that life and death are in the power of the tongue. I repeatedly declared, I choose life. I choose life. I choose life. When the thoughts came, I cried out to God. I told him exactly how I felt. I told him these thoughts were unwanted. I asked him to help me. I sought him with everything I had. I also contacted my therapist and my psychiatrist. I wanted every form of support available. I prayed, worshiped, sought counsel, and stayed connected to people who love me. I even repented and renounced anything that I felt may have opened a door in my life. I examined my heart before God and asked him to cleanse anything that need cleansing. There were moments when I felt exhausted from the battle. I even told God that if I needed to go to the hospital, I would do whatever was necessary to get well. If I needed to give up my son, I was determined to fight for my life. Anything for his safety, anything for my safety. Then one day I reached a breaking point. I cried out to God with everything in me. It wasn't a polished prayer. It wasn't a pretty prayer. It was one of those ugly, desperate, screaming prayers where all I could do was pour my heart before him. And the very next day, something shifted. The torment lifted. The thoughts lost their power. The peace of God flooded my heart. Today I stand here free, and I'm grateful to God for bringing me through one of the hardest mental and spiritual battles I have ever faced. While I would never wish this experience on anyone, I believe God can use what I went through to help someone else. If you're battling suicidal thoughts or intrusive thoughts right now, please tell someone. Reach out to trusted family members, friends, pastors, therapists, doctors, or crisis resources. Do not fight alone. Keep praying. Keep worshiping. Keep speaking life. Keep reaching out for help. Keep choosing life. There is hope on the other side of this battle. God brought me through, and I believe he can carry you through as well. My testimony is simple. I fought. I prayed. I reach out for help. And by the grace of God, I am still here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you all. Bye.